Three little tattletales. Heck, I'll do it today. Well, baby, if you are Tory Lanez, you are being called out by NBC News, y'all. Let me tell y'all something, right? Before we get into this, NBC News is calling out Tory Lanez and the bloggers supporting him for literally carrying out a sophisticated misinformation campaign that's been happening since Meg the Stallion got shot in, 2020? Club quarantine for real, right? Now listen, before we get into this, I just want to say, I thought this article was really interesting because a lot of the dusty musties, right, when they're not skipping out on child support, have been in my comments being like, where are your sources? This blog said this blog said this. And I said, my sources, y'all are the one reading the Shade Room and Hollywood Unlocked. No shade to the Shade Room or Hollywood Unlocked, but you feel what I'm saying? I'm actually reading the actual mainstream media sources, the people that literally have journalistic credentials, and if they print misinformation, they will get fired from their job. The paper will be sued. Again, I don't know if you guys seen it, but I've seen it. I've seen the paid trolls. How do I know they're paid trolls? Because in a minute, you'll have 30 people commenting the same thing about bias and misinformation when you are reading verbatim from what qualified, serious journalists are reporting that actually happened in trial. Do you know, I'm not even getting into the whatchamacallit, but let's get into, let me get off my soapbox and get to work, right? Woo, this is directly from NBC News. How Tory Lanez trial bloggers are shaping the conversation around Megan Thee Stallion. An industry of infotainment bloggers have used their platforms to discredit Megan Thee Stallion since July 2020 shooting involving Tory Lanez. They're saying Megan Thee Stallion isn't on trial. Just listen to this article. Y'all know I'm going to give my comments too. The man charged with shooting her in both feet, the Canadian rapper Tory Lanez. Remember how Kelsey said Tory was like, I'm from MF in Canada. And Kelsey said, okay, so what that mean, you gangsta? Anyway, let's get into this. But if you consume content of some popular hip-hop bloggers, podcasters, and social media accounts, you might be misled. There's also a journalist, on Twitter that has been following, I think his name is James Queasley or Jane Quiley. He actually said when he was quoting what was happening, when every single time somebody says, yo, Megan had a win or Megan's doing pretty good, people are like, oh my God, you're discrediting. This is live. Where are you getting your sources? And he got fed up like all the rest of the reporters. I'm like, listen, we are telling you what is done and said in trial. If you are hearing anything else, you might want to question your source, because there's one person that's calling themselves a journalist that is going live every day on, I just got out, and going live every single day. And not only is he always entering and leaving with Tory's camp, but he even has a press pass through Tory's camp. Now ask yourself why every time he reports something on his live in the hallway outside of the courthouse, it's always painting things in the worst possible way. Now, on one hand, I can't blame people, because this is, I think, why we need trials televised, so we can actually see it with our own eyes, because it is a game of telephone. But to ask yourself why all these outlets are saying that it's going so bad when there are people that actually have jobs on the line if they tell lies, saying, well, that's actually not what happened. Some days were good for Tory, some days were good for Meg. You see what I'm saying? But let's get into this, right? The outlets are part of a new wave of infotainment where content creators cover consequential events without the expectation of adhering to journalistic standards. This is an opinion page if y'all didn't know. Okay, right? In the Lanez trial, at any given moment, a follower might believe Tory's DNA was conclusively not found on the gun used during the shooting, or that Kylie Jenner kicked Megan out of her house, though there's no evidence to support either idea. This is NBC News. Listen, y'all little Tory stands want to be in my DMs threatening you're going to sue independent, blah, blah. Baby, sue NBC News, because they got the billions to back it up, right? Some question if Meg Thee Stallion was even shot at all. These online personalities draw thousands and millions of viewers for celebrity-related news and often share provocative, unverified rumors to their throngs of followers. The result is online fervor fueled by misogyny and misinformation that pits a high-profile woman like Meg Thee Stallion against a man accused of destructive behavior, such as Tory Lanez. Lanez, whose real legal name is Daystar, is on trial for a July 2020 incident in which Meg, who was shot in the foot when they were after they were leaving a party at Kylie Jenner's house, right? Meg publicly condemned the commentary from blogs and social media in September, saying it might be funny y'all on the internet and just another messy topic for you to talk about, but this is my real life and I'm real life hurt and traumatized. Let's not forget her stylist EJ that was making a joke, at least to me, looked like he was making a joke and a mockery out of everything. But you know what? Get it how you live it. They said blogs and sites like they name check sites saying have drawn criticism for casting doubt on Megan's allegations, okay? You can guess who the sites are. I'm not going to name drop, but you can go to this article. They say the podcast, blogs, and social media accounts have covered a range of topics, including theories that Meg wasn't actually shot, drawing from a police report that did not include the results of her surgery. Many have also focused on Meg's sexual history and portrayed her as an aggressor and a liar to undermine her testimony. The narratives have become viral social media content. They say in quotes, "It's been very clear as I've seen entertainment and gossip spaces commenting on the case that she has been set up by someone who is out for herself, lying and problematic in all these ways." Catherine Knight Steele, a communications professor at the University of Maryland and the author of Digital Black Feminism. These points to the way that misinformation and disinformation and misogyny is trafficked because of profitability, even in our own community. It's profitable for these sites to traffic in the most vile stereotypes of Black women. That's why you say bad news for Meg, the whole internet jumps on it. If you actually say, yo, Tory Lanez had a bad day in court, you are swarmed by trolls. But there's more. The backlash against Meg has followed a trend of harassment of black celebrities who make allegations against celebrity men, including Angelina Jolie and Amber Heard. Alex Spiro, one of Meg's lawyers, told NBC News that he and Meg are exploring all legal options regarding bloggers who have posted misinformation. Y'all hear that? Do you hear that? They are going after legal things. Malika Berry Rogers, executive director of the Advocacy Collective Southern Black Girls and Women's Consortium, watched in court as Meg testified last week. She said, "What I left the courtroom feeling is that the conversation has misplaced the victim. We are not speaking clearly about why we feel it's okay to put her character up for discussion, as opposed to the person who shot her." And I've said this a while. What does Meg sleeping with the whole Indiana Pacer Packer team, y'all know I don't watch sports, what does it have to do with her actually being shot? If she decided to taste the rainbow and bend over and bust it open for that leprechaun, because you know she had to bend over because you know Tory was going to be able to reach without Meg bending over, right? And you know that if she decided to bust it open for the Lollipop Guild and the leprechaun gang and taste the rainbow, that's her business. If anything, and I will say this, I think it's actually even more sick, because if it's true they had a a sexual relationship, that sounds like domestic violence to me. I don't know. Well, I know why the DA didn't do a DV charge, because Meg ain't want anybody to know she let leprechaun Meg lace front hit it from the back, right? Fine. However, I understand why they didn't do. But think about what happened. Somebody you're sleeping with shoot you, right? Sounds like DV to me. They're saying that Daystar, aka Tory Lanez, the lace front aficionado, has argued that Meg and her estranged friend Kelsey were fighting over him, raising questions about Meg's sexuality and the inherent intimacy of their relationship. While mainstream outlets have highlighted the racial and gender dynamics of the case and pointed out the misinformation circulating, experts say popular blogs and entertainment sites have focused on Meg and Daystar's sexual history to argue that Kelsey may have shot Meg over a dispute involving a love triangle. Listen to this, right? Milagro Grams, a hip hop news commentator, has been covering Pete and has been covering Meg and Tory since before the trial started. She's been covering the trial from inside the courtroom and tweeting updates. In May, Grams posted an image of an LAPD report from Tory's arrest, stating that the first doctor to see Meg confirmed laceration due to stepping on glass. The information was recorded before bullet fragments were discovered in Meg's feet during surgery, but bloggers and podcasters like DJ Academics presented Graham's post alongside conspiracy theories that Meg wasn't shot. Okay? Now, Milagro said, on my end, everything's not going to be something that is intended to be a factual statement. It might have a comedic effect. What is so funny about a woman being shot, being traumatized, and you're posting a fake police report and medical report for comedic effect? I guess. Grams added she's not attempting to tear anyone down and that she has prayed for Meg and victims have gone through what she's alleging. Gossip blogs and social media accounts have grown in popularity in the last 15 years, blah, 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 for spaces for deliberation and dialogue. However, many today prioritize shock value. She said, wherever you can garner the most controversy can go the most viral. It's profitable because being anti-Black woman, using Black women as scapegoats or villains, works for a variety of audience, white audience, Black men audience, and most unfortunately in spaces where Black women use misogyny to distance themselves from the negative implications of being associated with other Black women. I don't know who's writing a hate comment right now in my comment. That last paragraph was for you. Now get this. Legal counsel for Meg told NBC News that they had flagged some social media posts from gossip accounts for abusive contents. One of Meg's attorneys, Jordan C., told NBC News that 7 of Graham's tweets have been reported to Twitter on his client's behalf. A screenshot of a response from Twitter last week, shared from NBC News, said, "We locked Graham's account for breaking our abusive behavior rule." Graham's confirmed to NBC News that her account had been restricted for 11 hours due to violations of Twitter rules, and Meg's legal team confirmed they received a message saying the account had been locked because of their claims. Now get this. Adam Graham Mason, the host of No Jumper, wrote in an email to NBC News, "In no way are we trying to push any agenda in favor of Meg or Tory." Jason Lee, founder of Hollywood Unlocked, said that although he personally knows both Meg and Tory, the goal of the site is to be unbiased. However, he has also come under fire for social media users who say he's biased toward Peterson. Who's Peterson? Tory Lanez, right? He has basically implied that Meg may have been aggressive with Tory during the shooting incident and that Tory acted in self-defense. Is this where we're at? We literally started 2 years ago with Meg lying about being shot. Then she stepped on glass. Then she did that. Now Tory was afraid of his life. Meg was being aggressive to that little leprechaun, and Meg turned and walked away, and he shot her in both feet because she was being aggressive. If that's where we are, it's self-defense now. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Some have even pointed out comments from Lee on social media that appeared to support Daystar. Jason Lee, for his part, did tell NBC News his personal opinions don't reflect that of Hollywood Unlocked. He said Jason Lee gives his opinion, but Hollywood Unlocked is unbiased. At first, I thought it was unfair for people to automatically say Tory was guilty without giving him the opportunity in court. I've always struggled with the way she's been treated. While I don't believe it's fair to say Tory's automatically guilty, I also don't believe it's fair to call a woman who says she was shot by a man a liar. Meanwhile, Rhea Davis, a senior contributor for allhiphop.com, said Black-owned media sites like All Hip Hop have been pretty objective when covering the shooting. She said, "We're looking at bloggers. Oftentimes they're not held to the same standards, so they exercise a lot of opinion. When the opinion is shared versus fact, that leaves the room for a lot of misinformation." Y'all, you want to see where I got my sources from? It's NBC News. Anyway, Desties, have fun fighting in my comment section, literally defending your leprechaun king. But it looks like, according to Alex Spiro, lawsuits soon come. Bye.